Artists often talk about their creations as having a life of their own. Not objects made by exerting their will upon the canvas, but instead a partner, an active participant in the process. The end result wasn't made, but discovered, uncovered, revealed. As if it already existed before the first brushstroke, but the artist was the only one who could see it. When something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But this time, it might not be. Because somehow I've ended up repainting this entire car. This is my 1980 Volvo 242. And today, we're saying goodbye to silver. The catch is, I'm doing it with a YouTuber I've never actually met in person. If everything goes according to plan, by the end of this video, everything on this car will be stripped down, bodyworked, and we will see what the new color is. But first, everything needs to come off the car. I'm removing anything that can come off relatively easily. And because this is a full color change, that includes the engine bay. The more I remove, the less that needs to be masked off later on, which means a better paint job and a faster process once I'm there. This car has always been a bit of a 10-footer. It came to me as a bare shell over a decade ago. Most of the trim had been deleted, the fenders were rolled and reworked to fit wide tires. It had a mismatched hood and fender, a black rattle-canned engine bay, but most of the paint was decent. I had the hood and fender painted to match-ish, and later repainted the engine bay myself. From a distance, it looks pretty good, but up close it shows many reminders that the body has lived a long and slightly chaotic life. Inside the car, I removed anything I didn't want to clean overspray off of later. Seats, carpets, door panels, cluster, ECU, basically anything sensitive or difficult to clean. All of the seals came out as well, except for the front and rear windshields. Underneath, the exhaust and drive shaft come out as well. At this point, the car is getting pretty close to becoming nothing more than a rolling shell. I know it probably doesn't seem like it right now, but this car is stripped. There is nothing that doesn't need to be there to either hold panels in place or stop dirt from getting inside the car. I just barely am getting this wrapped up. I need to leave in the morning and go pick up a truck and then get a trailer and then head down to Indiana. This is kind of crazy, but I'm excited. The next morning, I picked up a U-Haul auto hauler, which are unexpectedly great trailers, by the way. I loaded up the shell and then made the 5-hour trip down to Indiana, to a shop I had never been to meet someone I had never met. This is Resurrection Garage. Fjord Green was the first that really struck me. But when I switched over my brain from daydreaming about colors into actually selecting a paint code to order, the bluish green started feeling wrong. I then thought it needed something simpler, more pastel. None really felt right. I realized I was starting to think more about what comments I'd get on each color as opposed to what felt right for the car itself, what it wanted. It needed something subdued yet complex when you look a bit closer. It should look like it could have been built in that color, even though Volvo never produced a car that looked quite like this. If someone's a genuine project car junkie who does work of this caliber, it's pretty easy to tell if they're legit just by listening to them talk. I could tell right away on the phone that Jason was the real deal. He's obsessed with 70s to 90s European cars and genuinely passionate about painting. His shop is well outfitted with a downdraft paint booth, a small army of paint guns, and he doesn't let his projects sit. He powers through them until they're done. Before we could even think about paint, we had to tackle the biggest problem on the car: the rear wheel arches. At some point in the car's past, someone tried to make room for wider tires. To do that, they cut slits into the fender lip and forced the metal outward. On most cars, that might work, but on the Volvo 240, the rear fender is double wall steel. Instead of folding cleanly, the metal buckled, leaving a rippled, uneven mess. The original plan was to cut the entire lip off and weld in a new patch panel. But after taking a closer look, Jason suggested something simpler. He welded the slits closed, then slowly worked the metal back into shape, hammering, sanding, and using only a very small amount of filler where needed. And somehow, it worked. We sanded the body with 800 grit using a DA sander, not to remove all of the paint, but just to expose any of the defects hiding underneath that would need a little more attention. Where we found problems, we fixed them. By the end of the first day, the rear arches were finished. Nearly everything below the windows had been smoothed out. We were way ahead of schedule. The next day, we finished blocking out the last small spots on the doors, and then turned our attention to the first panels that would get paint. Before going into the booth, every panel was cleaned thoroughly with hot water through the pressure washer, and then left to dry. Inside the booth, the panels were cleaned again, first with wax and grease remover, then a tack rag, and then finally an anti-static gun to remove any remaining dust. After searching for days, I came across an article of editors sharing their favorite paint codes. One person suggested an uncommon GM color that was sprayed on some C6 Corvettes. After finding all of the photos I could in different lighting conditions, I was pretty confident. First came sealer, then the base coat, followed by 3 coats of clear. After that, the booth was heated to bake everything dry. The next morning, we mounted one of the fenders back on the car just to see how things looked. Seeing the new color against the car for the first time was a bit surreal. I had never seen this color in person before ordering it, only photos online. There was definitely a moment of uncertainty. And if I'm honest, more than a moment, quite a few moments. But seeing it for the first time, I am really happy with this. It feels right on the car.
It is a little bit darker than I thought it would be, but I really like it overall. This has a lot of metallic in it, so I'm interested to see how it changes in different light. So we've got one more day this weekend to work on this. Gonna try to get as much prep done as possible on some other panels that go on the car, all of the core support panels and things that go in the engine bay. I am super excited about how it's looking.
But not everything went smoothly. Where we had filled a few trim holes on one of the fenders, one layer of old paint underneath was soft. This meant there was only one solution: sand it all back down and start over. Then we ran into another issue. The sealer above the filler refused to lay down smoothly, leaving a rough surface that almost looked like it had tiny pinholes. Ultimately, Jason sprayed some high build primer, then we blocked that flat, working it all the way up to 800 grit sandpaper with water. Once everything was finally ready, Jason laid down another coat of sealer, then color, and then 3 more coats of clear. From there, we focused on finishing all of the loose panels. Core support pieces, hood hinges, gas door, everything that could be painted off of the car. And with that, the first pieces of the car were finally finished. Supersonic Blue. By Monday morning, the paint was safe to handle. After 3 16-hour days, we moved the car off the lift, and I went into the booth to see the results. In my mind, this weekend was mostly going to be about prep work. I know enough to have been prepared for the fact that body work was going to take a very long time. I had fully expected to leave without seeing any new paint at all. Instead, most of the bodywork on the car is done, and all of the removable panels are finished.
It was not a straightforward process. There was a lot of stuff that was fighting us on these, and I had to redo it a couple times on a few of them. There are some spots we want to take a look at. We might have to redo some of it, but I am super excited about the color. I can't wait to see this on the whole car. It's gonna be awesome. Huge shout out to Jason at Resurrection Garage for all of the paint work here, as well as Auto Paint HQ for supplying the paint for this. Go check out Resurrection Garage's channel on YouTube. Jason has tons of cool projects he's working on. If you like some of the cars on my channel, you will like what he's working on. He's got lots of cool old European stuff, BMWs and Mercedes, G-Wagons, all sorts of stuff going on.
If you want to see more behind the scenes of this process, go subscribe to Resurrection Garage. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another one you might like. Thanks for watching.
I'll be back.